welcome back to another episode of Author Chat. I'm Mark Causey. With me is Francesca Maria.
Hello!
We're the co-editors of Black Cat Tales, an anthology of black cats from Black Cat Publishing.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're super excited to introduce you to two authors that go by one name. The name is Kristina Casasent. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to read your guys' bio, and then I'd love to hear more about your story that you've got in Black Cat Tales. Anna and Tod write as Kristina Casasent. They serve the whims of their Newfoundland and mini American shepherd dogs, two cats, and crested gecko. Living in Texas, the couple works in the sciences by day and compose fiction by night. Oh, we got to talk about that. They write across a selection of genres, usually with a slight touch of humor, including science fiction, fantasy, and thriller horror. Anna has a PhD in biomedical sciences and a background as a bioinformatician. Did I say that right?
You did.
Amazing.
Wow.
She's an avid dog and cat trainer and is a driving force behind Kristina Casasent. Tod is a software developer and has worked in a variety of industries. Anna turned him into a writer beyond authoring role-playing games. More information about Kristina Casasent's writing can be found at casasent.blog. Welcome, you two.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining us.
Good to see y'all.
Yes.
So we loved your story. It's called A Press of a Button. And it's one of the few science fiction stories that we culled together in the anthology. So would one of you like to give the synopsis without giving too much away?
Oh,
Oh.
that's tough.
Yeah, that is tough.
Rock, paper, scissors for it. or
A
something.
young no, it's not which one of us. It's explaining it without giving it away.
Yeah, that's very hard.
A young woman is making a request that will change her life, but she's not allowed to talk.
I think I would add that it's also about trying to make sure that she doesn't reveal what she's asking completely. So
Yeah, there's a lot of clues as to what's really going on behind the scenes in your writing. So what you guys do share and what you hold back, I think was real fine kind of balance of walking that rope with the audience, helping us understand just enough to figure out what's going on, but leave a lot to the mystery.
yeah, I think we have a lot of fun doing things like that. And also we sort of balance each other's writing. So it tends to either be very strange or very dark.
Uh-huh.
And you can make a guess possibly about which one is which, but usually you'd be wrong.
That's great.
So,
I'm really loved your story. I am a big fan of science fiction. I felt I would have liked to have seen more sci-fi submissions, but we really enjoyed the ones we got, particularly your story. A piece by piece sort of revelation, as a lot of science fiction goes. You start off in a place, and of course then you need to, then the story progresses. Where do you, since it's the two of you and you're putting the story together, is one of you the world builder and one of you is the characters? How do you
process like? Yeah.
Yes. How do you?
It depends on the series.
Mhm.
yeah, we actually choose who's in charge.
Oh,
So.
that's really, I think, a great idea going into it. And so what was your process for this particular story?
We're calling this is the first story we ever wrote together.
Amazing.
We're calling it, right or wrong, the 13th that we'll have published, because Black Cats, Friday the 13th.
Love it.
It's actually based on one of Anna's friends. You can guess her name if you read the story.
Got it.
On Anna?
And actually, it's sort of based off of a technology that does already exist, where people can train their animals to talk via buttons. So hopefully it's not giving too much away, but there is actually a technology that does that, that you train the animal to react and tell you if it needs to go out, if it needs to do certain things, etc.
Amazing. And is this from your scientific background, or is this just something that you've researched separately?
So actually, one of my friends trained her cats to communicate with her using this method.
Oh my
Um,
God.
so it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. And I would say that they also have to watch it because most of the time they will just go treat, treat, mom, mom, mom.
True story.
True story.
That sounds about right.
That does make a lot of sense.
Our cat's doing that right now. He's looking at us
Yes,
going,
off
treat,
camera.
treat, treat. Mom, mom, mom.
The things, but I have to ask about the logo behind you.
So the logo is from, we chose the logo based on our best-selling series, which we actually chose before it was our best-selling series. It's called Nano Sapiens.
Mm.
Dogs and cats get nanotech shots that make them people, make them sapient.
Amazing.
And they go off into space with their human friends and meet aliens and do fun stuff. Anna?
But there's problems with that because they still have their instincts. And also there's, I would say that they are different than humans. And in addition to that, like they have different driving forces, they have different thought processes. There's also the communication that is still an issue because while they can communicate, we do have ways for them to communicate, it's not, things don't get translated always correctly. For example, we have jokes in there where the cats are very disappointed with their translator during the whole time.
They don't
Sounds
let
about
them
right.
cuss. We
That
keep
does-
it,
Yeah.
G-rated.
Yeah.
And there's other things like that. We do have these ones that are a lot, I would say, on our lighter side. And then we have other stuff that is a lot darker. And so you got sort of our in-between dark side, not completely light.
And
So
the dog logo was also chosen because when Anna and I decided to get married, she said, "Sure, but I want a dog." We wanted a dog so bad, our Maine Coon cat is trained. It actually
Amazing.
still has, if you stand in the middle of the house and shout, "Come," the cat will get there first and sit first and wait for a treat.
Oh, amazing.
But
And
Maine Coons are really trainable. That is my excuse. If they like food, they are very trainable.
But I told her, well, if we're going to have a dog, I've always wanted a Newfoundland. So we got a big drooly mass of fur who's sitting on the floor looking sadly at me, hoping to get more food.
Aw, adorable. And given that you guys are both cat and dog lovers, it sounds like you really did capture both dog and cat, I think, personas and how they're different in your story. Have you noticed a difference in how your dog reacts and how your cat reacts, and anything you want to comment on that?
It gets hairy when you have a cat that thinks he's a dog.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that we have the two dogs, two cats, and I would say that our calico cat, who's the short hair, she's probably the most cat-like of the animals. She is more standoffish. However, she also was the one that sort of demanded that we have another animal because she was
Aw.
my first cat ever, and when we were first going to work and she was by herself all day, she did not like it.
Oh,
So she
yeah.
would cry down the hall.
Yeah.
And then when I would get home, she would climb in my lap and would not leave. And so then
Aw.
we ended up getting another animal, specifically another cat, because I was in grad school.
Uh-huh.
And that one just put his paws on Todd, and Todd was like, I'm getting this animal.
It's like, you've got a Maine Coon? Oh, let me see him. I picked him up and he
Aw.
put his paws around me and I didn't put him down. And I
I
had to
fell
do
down.
all the paperwork.
Adorable. I love that story.
They choose us.
That's right. That's right. So, speaking of choices, what made you guys choose to decide to kind of write speculative type fiction?
Uh, I've always written fiction. So this is like, it goes back to our thing. I've always written fiction. I've always written usually somewhere in the speculative fiction realm. And my range goes from very, very chaotic Douglas Adams type of worlds to extremely dark, to the point where Todd has said that I'm not allowed to publish that if I want to keep readers alive. So I've always written, and I sort of I guess, tugged Todd in right after
I
COVID, where I said that I really wanted to actually pursue some of this.
Yeah.
And he helped edit and then started writing.
yeah, I say I write because she made me.
That was my question, is that your bio says,
Same.
you know, that you got him into writing. I was like, well, how exactly did that work?
It started out she needed an editor,
Mhm.
Yep.
and I was editing, and we would bounce story ideas. We'd go on walks with the dog. We only had the one at the time, and bounce story ideas around and plot stuff out and characters and whatnot. And as I started editing, I started writing
Mhm.
to the point now where nanosapiens, Anna mentioned earlier, we each are masters of certain universes,
Mhm.
Hmm.
and nanosapiens is my universe. Like,
Nice.
just because I won't let it be that dark.
Yeah, some of the darker ones are my universes.
That's great.
So,
Oh, sometimes we steal characters from each other. And one of
Nice.
her, in our first novel to receive a rejection letter, one of it's her universe, and I took one of the characters. I said, he's mine.
Mhm.
yep.
I get final say over him.
Nice. Love it.
So we
So,
also always make that agreement beforehand
Yeah.
with who owns the universe.
That's great. That's smart. It's a great kind of diplomatic way of going about it. Like, that's
We
fantastic.
want to stay married.
Yeah.
Yes.
We understand that. Yeah.
So you do that too, right? Or
Yeah.
there's-
yeah, I give friendly suggestions as her editor. I leave separate side notes as friendly suggestions. That's how the editor stays married. Um, So, when our readers love your story as much as we did, and where would they find the 14th, or what's the 14th story you guys might be working on?
We're actually we were still selling some short fiction that we wrote that for the first year we were writing. We churned out short fiction, kind
Great.
of getting
yeah.
getting our work process under our belts, and we've been working. And we got a novel written, and now we're currently working on 2 novels.
Yeah. So the other thing is we actually have a blog, which I mentioned before, a Substack, Chaos Critters, and we do put short stories up there. They're usually fairly short, unless I go a little crazy.
Longer, depending on who wrote it.
So we try to publish one that's called Chaos uh,
Oh, no.
Tales, that is sort of like more darker. And then we have Chaos Critter Tales, which spelled differently, which is more the humorous. And so those come out basically once a month. And then we have regular blog posts. For other things, like we have an Amazon page, and so that is where you can find more things. And then we're trying to place a few novels. So
Fantastic.
Very busy then.
Give us a glimpse of what your novels are about.
Well, our first rejected novel
Don't say it like
is
that. It just hasn't
It's-
oh
found
no,
its home
it's
yet.
we celebrate rejections.
There you go.
It's
There you go.
and rejection means you're trying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So it means that you're putting yourself out there.
Mhm.
And you
so it's
finished
hard.
something.
That's what I was going to say.
Right?
Rejection means you finished something and have it done.
That's huge.
And the
and feel
rejection
like it won't
actually,
make readers commit suicide.
hey, one story set, really. But no, so that one is based on the idea that you have that magic is sort of abundant in this world,
Mhm.
and that we have the main character is actually a want-to-be chef. So he leaves where he is living and goes and travels to try to become a chef. But in doing so, he has to hide the magic that he has because it's a fantasy on this one.
Mhm.
And he has to basically try to hide where he came from. And because his people were outlawed and banned due to their magic and the fact that they had tried to kill the previous regime.
What we're currently working on, one is a fantasy. We started it before the Weird West craze was a craze. It's an Old West with magic.
Oh, I love it.
And
It sounds great. Fantastic. Well, we can't wait for readers to get their little paws on our anthology and especially your guys' story, which is, again, one of our absolute favorites. We can't thank you enough for contributing to it and for talking to us today. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Great to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too.
Take care.
Take care.